I'm going to share with you guys 5 tips on how to craft delectable email outreach to executives that they can't help but bite on. If you're trying to figure out how to get a meeting with a busy executive where you don't have common connections, you can't get a warm introduction, this is how you take something from cold to warm, or at least as warm as you could make it based on research. If you guys find this video to be helpful, informative, and entertaining, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for weekly tips on how to sell more and live more. So there's 2 overarching themes for crafting amazing email outreach to executives. 1, make it personalized, and 2, bring value. Now let's dive into these 5 tips to create amazing emails. Tip number 1, relate like a rock star. What do I mean by that? Spend 5 minutes to do research on the individual that you're trying to reach out to and the company that they work for, and pick out 5 key nuggets that are personal pieces of information. Maybe it's the university they went to, or that they're into Stoic philosophy based on what you see on LinkedIn, and use this as ammunition to create a personalized start to your email where you call out something that you have in common with the individual, or that your organization has in common with their organization. Maybe it's a shared value that your organizations have, or shared customers. You find synergies to make it as warm as possible, and you relate like a rock star. There was one time I got a CEO to call me back from an email I sent, and partly it was because in the subject line I said, Hoya Saxa from Google. Hoya Saxa is what we would say at Georgetown. That's where I went to college, and this guy went to Georgetown as well. So it was a common language, it was a personal tie, and it resonated. And that brings me to the second tip, which is channel your inner hostage negotiator. Chris Voss is one of the top hostage negotiators in the world, and he wrote a book, Never Split the Difference. I encourage you to check it out, and a lot of his tips apply to sales and all aspects of life. And what I mean by channel your inner hostage negotiator is to do your research to create such a high degree of empathy and understanding of the customer and their scenario, and demonstrate that to the customer. That builds trust like nothing else. So spend time researching the market trends in the industry, the customer you're trying to reach out to. Spend time coming up with insights that you can offer them, and spend time researching their 10K, if they're a public company, to learn about the top fears and risk factors in the mind of the CFO and the challenges and opportunities that this business is facing, and demonstrate in the email that you are aware of those challenges. Position yourself as a trusted advisor. Show empathy and demonstrate clearly that you can bring value by helping solve those challenges. This executive or CEO that I got the meeting with, where I said Hoya Saxa from Google, not only did I personalize the email outreach, but I had researched the company's 10K and seen their top challenges as a business in that 10K, and I directly referenced them in the email and shared how we could help. So not only did I relate like a rock star, but I channeled my inner hostage negotiator and demonstrated empathy, and that led to him calling me back. Another point when it comes to channeling your inner hostage negotiator and demonstrating empathy is using the specific language that you see the executive use that you're reaching out to. If you see on LinkedIn they use certain phrases and describe their role and what they care about in a certain way, use that language and mirror it back to them. It'll definitely establish a sense of trust and connection, and they'll be more likely to respond and take the meeting. Tip number 3, give to get. The law of reciprocity says that when you offer something of value, people are going to feel like they owe you something in return, or at least they're going to be more inclined to return the favor. When you offer value and offer to give something, for example, an invitation to an event coming up and an opportunity to experience something, that will go a long way. What do executives see as opportunities and gifts in their world? Well, one clear-cut thing that they appreciate is the opportunity to network. So if you can invite an executive to an event where they will meet thought leaders or leaders at your company, or be able to network with other executives that can present opportunities for their business, they'll probably bite. That is a form of value that you can offer an executive. Another form of value is if you can allude to offering an insight about a customer's industry or business that they might not have thought of. And this type of thinking originates from the Challenger sale that says the best, most successful reps based on the data are the ones who offer insights as a trusted advisor. One key example of giving to get in action for me was when I invited an executive at a company to an event, Google Cloud Next, that had all these keynote speakers and opportunities to meet other executives and top product leaders and have dinners and drinks. It was a great opportunity, and I offered them an experience, and in return, we built a great partnership, and giving played a huge part in that. Tip number 4, throw in some special sauce. What I mean by that is don't be afraid to be human and to be quirky. At Google, we would talk about being googly as a good thing. Show your humanity. One time I put this into practice was when I reached out to the CEO of Sur La Table, and I told him how my mom bought me a cooking class and I didn't want to go but tried it out, and it ended up being the greatest thing. And I just told a goofy little anecdote about that experience in the cooking class. And it actually got the CEO's attention, and it got me the meeting. It was shared with my leadership team at Google, and I got what's called a peer bonus for my googliness. And one thing that's really important to think about is the concept of pattern interrupt. You can't be perceived as better if you're not perceived as different. And one way of being different is by showing your humanity and showing your goofiness. Tip number 5, always be closing. Let's be real, you have to end with a question and an ask for the meeting in your email. A couple tactics to consider is 1, say, if any of this is remotely interesting, do you have 20 minutes to connect next week to discuss your vision and priorities and outcomes we've produced for relevant customers? That's an example of a close, and one thing I want to call out is the idea of lowering the barrier of commitment by only asking for 20 minutes. That's less intimidating than asking for 30 minutes to 45 minutes or an hour. And if you get the customer on the hook and you're having a good conversation, you can always ask for permission to extend the meeting if it's going well. And I do like that phrase, if any of this seems remotely interesting. Another thing is making it clear that you're going to discuss the customer's vision and you want to hear from them, and that you'll be ready to share specific outcomes for other clients that are relevant. Maybe you can call out similar clients in their industry. And if you want to, throw in at the end that at the least you'll take away some insights that will get you thinking differently about your business, to show that even if there isn't a fit, it'll be worth the client's time to take the meeting. So remember, it definitely pays off to put the work in up front to research so you can create a great email communication that's personalized and valuable. And the way you do that is through 5 steps. 1, relate like a rock star. 2, channel your inner hostage negotiator. 3, give to get. 4, throw in some special sauce. And 5, always be closing. And speaking of closing, if you guys got value out of this video and found it entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. The YouTube algorithm will bless me and show this to more people out there who might benefit from the message. It's a win-win. And make sure to subscribe, because I'm coming at you every week with tips on how to sell more and live more. Love y'all, and all the best.